Well, over the past week, we have partnered with Cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer to bring you stories on youth sports, from the high cost to participate to the mental toll it can take on kids. Tonight, we are discussing a huge problem, a shortage of umpires and referees. Christy Paul sat down with one local officiant who shares what he encounters at games.
Today, umpires and referees aren't just calling plays or dodging balls on the field. Sometimes they're dodging angry parents and coaches after the final whistle.
You walk into your car with your bag and all of a sudden you got two parents yelling at you. When the game's over, you chasing the umpire out of the parking lot. Now, what kind of example are you setting for your child?
Al Ivy's been officiating football, basketball, and baseball here in Northeast Ohio for 30 years. He says he's never seen what he's seeing now.
I was doing a youth game in North Ridgeville one year, and this one kid got hit on the sideline. And the mom jumped up yelling, "Great!" And the other mom came over and hit her.
You actually saw that woman hit another woman?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then what happened?
We had to call the police. Both of them went to jail for assault. And it's wrong because that's what you taught your son and taught your daughter, that if it don't go right, you fight. You teach them the wrong thing.
He's not the only one noticing dangerous behavior at ball games. Just last year, Brook Park City leaders passed the disorderly conduct at sporting events legislation, citing anyone who physically confronts, causes harm to, or creates an atmosphere where an official can't continue the game without stopping play, facing a 3rd to 1st degree misdemeanor. The ordinance highlighted that officials frequently experience verbal abuse and mistreatment at events. As umpires get older and retire, the younger generation needs to take over. But Al says many of them just aren't game to take the heat.
They don't want to be yelled at. And as an official, you're going to get yelled at. So, I mean, it's like being married. You're going to get yelled at.
So these young kids, and when you say young, you're talking what ages, early 20s?
Yes.
They're genuinely afraid to do this?
Oh, yeah.
For physical harm?
Yeah. They don't want to get jumped on.
The chaos has an even more cutting impact on your young athletes. Al will never forget one pitcher at a U11 baseball game a couple of years ago.
He couldn't throw a strike for nothing in the world because his mom was yelling at him. I had to stop the game and talk to him. And I said, "What's wrong?" He started crying on the mound. He said, "My mom." And I said, "Which one is it?" I went over there and told her. I said, "Ma'am, listen, he's crying because of you. If you don't want to see the game or want to act right, why don't you just leave and let this kid have fun?" Because he's only 11 years old. After that, he had fun, start smiling, playing, and throwing strikes because his mom left him alone.
In all fairness, Al admits sometimes they get it wrong.
We're going to blow calls, we're going to miss calls. It's human nature. You get mad about a mistake. But you play 7 innings in baseball, you play 4 quarters of football, 4 quarters of basketball. That one call didn't blow that game.
But they strive to get it right because the kids are his motivation, and he wants to do right by them.
What do you love about being an umpire?
Oh, kids, straight out kids. When parents come by and say, "Al, good game," and they lost, that means I did a good job.
Christy Paul, 3 News.
I'm telling you, don't even get me started. Well, coming up next in sports, well, actually, you know what? We want to hear about experiences with youth sports from you. Just email youthsports@wkyc.com.